Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're an oldie but a goodie, welcome back. We're doing our daily count your coins budget, so if you like watching these kind of videos, keep on watching. Alright guys, welcome back. So yesterday we closed out May and we started June. We did all of our numbers. We closed out our sinking funds. We closed out our envelopes. We did our envelopes tracker. And we started June. So yesterday we did go in and filled all of this out. And I forgot to put my categories is in here. So these are all bills, debt, bill, debt, bill, TN, debt, bill, donation, debt, and debt. Now yesterday we didn't get to close out completely because we only had $33.20 remaining on the account after we reduced everything. So I made a complete stop because I knew that I had to explain today what we're doing. So the reason we only had $33.20 remaining is because in May I should have had that page. We paid $10,246 for the Tennessee home for the deck, and we had only transferred $8,500 from the investment. So because we did not cover the $10,000, we're off, literally off. Let's see, $10,246, and we only transferred $85.29. We were off $1,717 from, obviously, to cover the whole amount. So we sort of stole from our balance to carry over. So sort of giving you a better explanation is, so if we would have had the 1717, technically we would have had the 3320 plus the 17. We would have had leftover 1750, which would have been enough for what we're sort of doing next, right? Hold on one second. I need an eraser. All right, I wrote it down in pencil just so I can remember. My eraser, I always gotta hide it from JJ. So because we didn't have that extra cash in there, because we sort of gave it to the debt guy, we have to transfer over money from our savings to offset our debts that we're paying down. So I ended up just figuring out how much I needed plus my little cushion. So we transferred from the savings $1,250 because I don't need the whole entire $1,750. I would have ended up transferring that over to the savings anyway. So I'm only putting what I actually need to cover the cost that we're about to do. So now my balance is $1,283.20. Now we have a couple of debts that we need to pay, which we're only doing a minimum for right now. So we did 500 to that one, 200 to this one, and 100 to this one. So let's reduce it by 500 200 and 100 gives me 483.20. Now, this is a debt, debt. The other thing is that I have is we did a payment plan. We have payment plans with our utility. So UI, we have a payment plan, and Southern Connecticut Gas, we have a payment plan. So now starts a new year for this payment plan. So this one, instead of 231, I guess we have been doing good with the solar, that it's not, now it's only $31. So they're giving me back, I had to change my payment. And now it's only $31 instead of $231. The payment plan changed. Now every year at the end of the year cycle of when I started a budget with the utility company, every year they reevaluate the numbers for the year, and then they come back and tell me how much I gotta pay. So last month, May, I didn't realize it was last month, and I paid 231, and last month started the $31. So I overpaid by $200, which I'm fine with, because at the end of the cycle, or when we leave to Tennessee, they'll give me the $200 back if we don't owe any money, right? Then Southern Connecticut Gas, that one is not, I want to say it's August or September that the new cycle works out for Southern Connecticut Gas, and the same thing happens. They go back a year from August of last year, recalculate the 12 months of how much you spent, and then divide that by the 12, and that's how much they budget you for you to pay. And they also, if you overpaid, they give you money back. But if you underpaid, then they add it to the calculations of you paying them back. So if you don't know that utilities actually have budget plans for people who can't pay off, I don't know, $800 every month because the heat is so expensive or the power is so expensive, every utility has a budget plan. You just have to call and ask if they have one, and usually they do. So now I just got to add the 200. Now we have 683, which is our usual, I want to say maybe about $100 less cushion for T-Mobile and the solar. Usually it's about, I want to say maybe about $250 for the T-Mobile, and it's usually about $100 to $150 for the solar. So we'll still have $283 left if anything comes through. So that's technically how you end up budgeting, is how I use my register as my budget. I go in from the top balance. I reduce everything that's supposed to come out as a bill, basically, for the following month, which is June. Lost my train of thought. Then from that balance is where I go ahead and I take the remainder and use it as a budget. So that's why yesterday my balance after all my debts was supposed to be, oh, sorry. No, this one was 2045. Wrong one. 204504. Right? I think I did that right. Hold on. I think I put it in the wrong spot. So like I had left 320. If I add the 150, I actually had 183.20. And if I add the 2011.84, this was 2195.04. So after I was done paying off like all the bills, and even though this is a debt, this is my mortgage, so clearly we have to pay it. It's a home, we have to pay it. So I only had 183 left. Then after that is where all the other debt comes along, which are the remainder of whatever we owe on some of the loans or credit cards. These are already up here. These are already on a minimum payment for each debt that's here that I automatically take out. And these are all zero interest free. So like the Best Buy is zero interest. What is this one? The Ford obviously is not zero interest, but is a car, is a debt. But we only pay a minimum on that one. The TN mortgage clearly is already in a calculation with your interest and all that stuff and your taxes and insurance and blah, 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 blah. So you have a minimum payment on that one. So clearly I have to pay that one. My markets and my green loans are already 0% interest. So that one already has a minimum that we pay on them. And then let's see what else. And then the Connecticut home, which is already calculated with the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, and blah, 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 blah. So those are already in the minimum. So that's why we need to reduce these first from this balance. And then from this amount is where we go and we play along. Even though my Lowe's is 0%, I already pay it a certain minimum. The only one we do owe with interest is my Prime card, which we played along with it and been using it for things for Tennessee. But that one, the minimum, even though every credit card minimum is about $50, I give it a good chunk. So is these two. These are other two loans that are 0% interest. So I got a minimum going on until we figure out what we're going to do with Tennessee. So that's how I use my sort of my register as part of my budget plan. So I usually go here, I see what I got remaining left, and then from there is how I end up paying out. Like let's say I didn't have a savings, for those who are starting and probably don't have a savings. If 183 was the balance I had left, I would have paid $25 on each credit card or each loan because the minimum is $25 for each one of these. So let's say my balance was 183.20. I would have done the minimum on this one, the minimum on this one, and the minimum on this one, and the minimum on this one, which would have left me $83. And probably not even, because don't forget we have the cell phone that comes out automatically. And we have the solar, and those are more important. So I would have to, if I didn't have a savings, I probably would have had to done actually. So let's say the 183.20 is all I had left. I would have switched this to 25, so that would have given me 125 more. I would have switched the other one. One of these I send more money, but it's this one instead of 610. Is it this one or this one? No. Yeah, it is this one. So instead of 610, I probably would have put the 100, and 500 would have came to my pocket. I would have had 808.20. So let's say like if I didn't have any more money coming in out of anywhere, then I would have done minimum payments on all the debt and then play along with the balance afterwards. So let's say then 808 was what I had. Actually, not really, because 250 would have went to the T-Mobile. That's a bill. And 150 would have went to the solar, because that's important. That's power. I would have had 400 to play around with to pay off on my debt. Then from that 400, I would have went in and done probably the minimum on everything, which then is 25. 1, 2. No, that already counted the 25. Then, yeah, the 400 would have went 1, 2, 1, 25, 50. So it's 100 on the minimum. Then 300 would have went to whichever one was the minimum balance due, which at the moment I don't know because I haven't done my debt tracker yet. But I would have went by whatever was on the previous month, which is over here, and I would have sent it to the 0320, and I would have sent the $300 to that one, so it would have been $350 for that one. So that's how I use my spending tracker as my budget planning, because we pay ahead of time. We didn't have anything else because we just started, and today is Sunday, so we don't have anything for the sinking funds, and everything stayed the same there. So I am just gonna speed up some stuff and catch up to probably March. I think we finished. Did we finish February? Oh no, we did not finish February. I don't think. Did we finish February? Dun 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 dun. Or maybe we did finish February. Yep, looks like we finished February, and we did some March for explanation when I was doing those other videos. So I think it's just the sinking fund that I have to do for March and the envelopes. So let's get started. right, guys, that's it for the catch up. Thank you for watching. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.